Good morning. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable knowledge seekers, today I am your host for the morning. My name is Priyanka. I am from Bangladesh. Dear knowledge seekers, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and ISO certified international educational and training institute. In the last years, we have already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus professions and 4,500 organizations. Institute of Global Professionals IGP and ISO 9001, 2450 and 1002, 2018 is the training facility for skill development which founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve students and community resources providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally, and to students, job seekers, job holders, and also for learners to respective campus locations and distance learning platforms. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminars, courses, awards, quiz competitions, monitoring, counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like creating our portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge. Um, gathering which can update all day. Kids, games, websites, free courses, converter sites, and many more. We help to empower youth to learn to meet their expectations and dreams and become highly skilled people. We implement several training programs, webinars, and office online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kinds of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personalities, spreading knowledge especially for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try um, Institute of Professionals. Everyone English Technology is the love, enlightened vision. Also, we try to understand the needs of today's generation and we serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have to genuine concern for the learners. We represent mode of diversity, growth, and innovation are required. To lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective, best quality service and control improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill levels and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we have already completed 1,461 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we have already completed 1,461 webinars successfully. Dear IGP speaker, participants, and well wishers, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We changed and designed our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have services for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you can't enjoy our services. So your account for once with your proper information. Note that with your proper information, you will enjoy all features. With mismatched data, you can't do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competitions on our website. We replace Lido. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars, 1,420 plus, with verified e-certificates. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session, we will not provide you with any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate. Otherwise, not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificates, speakership certificates. If you are a host of IGP, you can download your certificate of graduate. If you are an online quiz competition winner, you can download your certificate of participation. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in any award function which organize combined support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 80 types of listing certificates from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influencer during the pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities during the pandemic, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2020, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2021, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2022, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1 Authentic Assessment in Teaching Learning. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2 Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3 Digital Classroom Engagement Tools. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4 The New Trend in Education. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5 Upskilling Organizational Leadership and Managerial Skills. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6 Trends and Innovation in Mathematics Education. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7 Research a Comprehensive Approach. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8 Art in Teaching Special in Programs in the Arts. Certificates of Participation Webinar Series 921 First Century Tools in Teaching Mathematics. Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute from now on. You can participate in 1000 plus international level quizzes with verified key certificates. Teaching tips for teachers, health tips for parents, health tips for teenagers, gamification tools for teachers. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our 50 plus premium services website for free and many more. Dear IGP well-wishers, we promised previously but lack of technical issues, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect various credentials. We solve all issues from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything. You can check your dashboard for all webinar details. It's a cordial request to you check all buttons and pages on our website. Surely I can say you will be benefited. Thank you. But note that without an account or login, you can't enjoy our service. At present, we are going to start our 1462 program name is Internet of Things IoT. And our student speaker, Dr. Anjum Nazir Qureshi. Before I hand over the stage to ma'am, want to share very little a bit about our speaker. Dr. Anjum Nazir Qureshi is from India, Assistant Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication, Rajiv Gandhi College of Engineering, Research and Technology, Chandrapur. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. What is your name? So can I start with the
Sorry, I can't hear you. Please increase your voice.
now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So should I start with my presentation?
Ma'am, please present your presentation.
Okay. You able to see it? Yeah. Then are you able to
Ma'am,
see the presentation?
ma'am, this is your overview now. You can say start your presentation.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So hello everyone and greetings from India. I am Dr. Anjum Qureshi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication at Rajiv Gandhi College of Engineering, Research and Technology, Chandrapur. I have completed my PhD on this topic, in which I worked on security of IoT networks using artificial intelligence, and so Internet of Things is my one of my area of interest. And I thought that I should be sharing my knowledge about IoT. Now, this presentation it is actually just the basic of IoT because it is very difficult to cover up in just 60 to 70 minutes presentation. Covering everything about IoT is very difficult, but I have tried to just bring some of it. Like, for example, these are the contents. We'll be starting with the introduction of IoT, then a little bit of IoT devices that we contain, that is the sensors, actuators, and RFID, and then the networking protocols that we require for IoT, the protocol stack, the protocols that we require at the application level, then the communication protocols, the different kind of communication technologies that we use, and of course the applications of IoT. So we know that IoT, it is Internet of Things. This is a technology which has gained momentum in the last few years. IoT has gained a significant mind share in the academia and industry due to its potential capabilities. It paints a picture of the world where all the things will be connected to the internet and communicate with each other. This was a term which was coined by Ashton during a presentation by him in Procter and Gamble in 1999. He said that IoT has the potential to rule the world. And yes, and later IoT was introduced by International Communication Union (ITU). IoT is many times it is referred to as a technology that it anywhere it talks about three terms: from anywhere and from any time you can be accessing this, and anything you can be accessing through this. So it is a technology in which all the things can be the devices, the things, not only things we can say, it can be devices, it can be human beings, it can be animals, it can be plants, and everything will be connected to through a common platform called as internet, and therefore it has been termed Internet of Things. Now, what is Internet of Things? Internet of Things with it is actually a network of things with clear identification, embedded with software intelligence, sensors, and ubiquitous connectivity to the internet. It can be considered as a network of physical elements empowered by sensors to collect information. Then it will have identifiers to identify the source of data. It will require softwares to analyze the data, and of course, internet connectivity to connect and notify. So these are some basic components of IoT. So here I am with a more complete definition of IoT. Some companies also call IoT as Internet of Everything. It connects people in a more relevant way. It converts the data into intelligence that helps to make better decisions, and it will deliver right information to the right person or machine at the right time. And so in this, the physical objects are connected to each other, and we can be using different kinds of technologies, different kinds of communication technologies to connect the devices with each other. So if we see in this diagram that I have made, IoT, it will have internet, it will have things, it will have the data and the processes and standards that are required. So in the further slide, we'll be discussing about what are the different kinds of things that are connected to the internet, then how the data is being shared using the IoT, because every time when we are talking about the devices, connecting the devices or on the internet platform using the IoT that we are talking about, so everywhere the data is being exchanged between the devices. And of course, when we need to exchange the data, when we need to transfer the data, when we need to process the data, we will be requiring some kind of standards, some kind of protocols and algorithms that will enable the transfer of the data. So this is a diagram which shows the basic requirements of an IoT solution. On the first level, it will be having the things, which actually consists of the sum of the sensors, actuators, RFID tags, and all that. And after the sensors collect the data, they all transfer to the IoT network. The IoT network will consist of the elements that will transfer the data from the device level to the application level. Application level are the applications that we are using. It can be different types of applications. It can be related to health. It can be related to agriculture and energy monitoring and number of applications. And the IoT application, it can be accessed using your smartphones, using your laptops. We can be using different mediums. And one of the basic things that how we use the application is that as you can see, I have written notification and control. So the notifications, well, there are many applications in which you will be getting notifications of the kind of process you want to implement. Like for example, if we are working with the healthcare, though if there are some changes in the health parameters, you will be getting a notification of the changes in the health parameters and so on. So that is the application level where you can be accessing those applications either on your smartphone, either using your desktop or laptop compute or desktop computer or the laptop. Or nowadays, you also have the tabs, you also have the smartwatches. So, like all the applications that you are using, where you are able to access something else, you are able to have communication with some other devices or with some other person staying at a particular place, and you are able to control something or monitor something from in any part of the world. So, they are all the applications of IoT. Yes, this is the IoT reference framework. Now, the first level, I don't know why, because of it's not visible. This is the device level, which due to something is not visible, I think. And then the device level, the network level, the platform, the IoT management services platform, and then we go to the IoT application. So, IoT sensor. A sensor is a device, typically an electronic device, that detects changes, events, or changes in a physical environment. Example: temperature, sound, heat. Example: uh, temperature, sound, heat, pressure, flow, magnetism, motion, chemical and biochemical parameters, and it will provide corresponding outputs. Now, most of the sensors that we use, they will take analog inputs and they will deliver the digital input and the delivered output, digital outputs, and this are most of the time they are electrical outputs. The output signals are then processed by the gateways or by the application of the IoT platform. And in some instances, the outputs are processed directly by a lightweight application. Then, the temperature sensors. Temperature sensor is the most commonly measured temperature. It is the most commonly measured quantity. We need to measure the temperature many a times in our life. So, the temperature sensor, it is the most commonly measured quantity, as I said. So there are different types of temperature sensors. First one is the thermocouple sensor. It is made by joining two dissimilar metals at one end. It produces voltage as a result of the thermoelectric effect. Then, the second type of temperature sensor is resistance temperature detector, which we call it as RTD. Temperature sensing devices whose resistance changes with temperature. They are used to measure temperature in laboratory and industrial processes. The third kind of temperature sensor that we use is the thermistor. In this, the resistance will change with temperature, and the thermistors are made from semiconductor material, and they will exhibit a non-linear resistance versus the temperature curve. And the fourth type of temperature sensor is the semiconductor sensor. The semiconductor sensors can be classified into different types like voltage output, current output, digital output, resistance output silicon, and diode temperature sensors. They can also include signal processing circuitry within the same package as a sensor, thereby avoiding the need to add compensation circuit. The next one is the pressure sensor. The pressure sensors are used to measure the pressure of gases or liquids, including water level, flow, and speed. Some of the practical examples where we will be using pressure sensors are pumps, compressors, hydraulic systems, and refrigerators. Nowadays, we all use the touchscreen laptops, smartphones, and the tablets. So all these touchscreen gadgets, they are equipped with the pressure sensors because whenever we apply a slight pressure on the touchscreen using our finger, so the tiny pressure sensors are present, and this will determine where exactly the pressure is applied, and consequently, we can see there are some changes on the screen. Like if you click application on your smartphone, it opens up. So we can be saying that as you touch a particular place on that screen, then the tiny pressure sensor will determine, they will actually know that, or they will sense that pressure, and consequently they will be generate an output signal, and it will inform the process. The next kind of sensors that we use is the flow sensors. The flow sensors are used to detect and record the rate of fluid flow in a pipe or a system. They are also used to measure the flow transfer of the heat caused by the moving medium, and uh, it will sense and it will measure the flow, and it is because it is needed for many applications ranging from drilling machines to more serious applications, the flow monitoring of high purity substance. The next type of sensors that we use with the IoT is the level sensors. This level sensors will measure the level of fluids. Now, the earlier sensor that we studied or saw was the flow sensor that will record the flow rate, how whether it is fast, whether it is slow, and not only for liquids but also for how the heat is being transferred. But the level sensors that we are using, it is used to measure the level of fluid. As you can see on the diagram that I have written here. So here, this is some kind of diagram which we mostly see on the screen of our smartphones, where it is showing, okay, this is the 57% of battery remaining. So they are used to measure the level fields continuously or at the point values. The ultrasonic level sensor are used for non-contact level sensing of highly viscous fluids and even bulk fluids. These can be used in water treatment applications for controlling the pump and for open channel flow measurement. And it also consists of the capacitance level sensors that will measure the presence of variety of solids and liquids using radio frequency signals in the capacity circuit. The next kind of sensors that we will be using are the imaging sensors. So these imaging sensors are used in digital cameras, medical imaging machines, and night vision equipment. Because every imaging applications, if we see, it is being used. And yes, of course, like in the medical applications also, we know the kind of all the kind of scanning techniques that we are using, like any kind of CT scan or sonography and all. all those are medical imaging techniques. So this medical imaging techniques use imaging sensors, and these sensors are utilized to measure image information by capturing them and then converting the variable attenuation of waves into vectors. So this is the uh, function of a imaging sensor that we'll be using to form distant circuits. Then we also have noise sensors, because we know that nowadays due to the we are also suffering, or we are also going around with noise pollution. So noise sensors help in measuring the noise pollution or the noise disturbance. That is the excessive noise that may harm human beings, or that may also harm the animals. So the function of this noise sensors will be whenever the noise level changes, and like it is very high, because everywhere you know when we are using the samples, a common policy that has been used is we have a threshold level, we determine a threshold level, and when it goes or below or above the threshold level, we will be getting notifications, right? So when the noise level will change, they will send the electronic signal to an overall ambient noise system to take the action. So this is how the noise sensor will be working. Then next we have air pollution sensors, because we know that yes, besides the noise pollution, we also have to deal with the air pollution sometimes. So air pollution sensors, they are used to detect and monitor the presence of air pollution in the surrounding environment. And these kind of sensors that we'll be using, it will focus on five main components. That is the ozone, the particulate matter, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and nitrous oxide. So it will detect the presence of these pollutants, and if these pollutants are detected, it will be sending the data like, okay, what is the percentage of carbon monoxide and all. So it will be delivered to the corresponding authorities. So this is about the air pollution sensors. Now, besides the air pollution sensors, again there are a number of sensors that are being used. So in that, there is a proximity and displacement sensors, which detect the presence of absence of objects using presence or absence of objects using electromagnetic field, light, or sound. Then we have the infrared sensors. Infrared sensors will be used to track the movement of an object. They will produce and receive infrared rays in the form of heat. Then we have moisture and humidity sensors. Moisture and humidity sensors, they are also called as hygrometer sensors, and they are used to measure and report the relative humidity in the air. Then we have speed sensors, which are actually used to detect the speed of the vehicles, of the transport vehicles. That is, sometimes you must have seen it is used on the roads, where the speed of the vehicle is detected, and if the speed is found to be more, then we will have to pay a fine. So this are where the speed sensors are being used most of the time. And besides this, there are many other sensors that we'll be using to build or to make an IoT circuit, or to make an IoT node. There are some more sensors that I did not put the details, are acceleration sensors, biosensors, gas and chemical sensors, mass sensors, tilt sensors, and force sensors. So these are just a few types of sensors which I try to talk about. And the sensors that you have to select, it will depend on your application. So according to your application, whenever you are trying to build up an IoT circuit, or when you are trying to have an IoT application, so at that time you will have to recognize your purpose, like you want to measure the pressure, or you want to measure the temperature of a place, or you want to measure the humidity and moisture of something, of a place. So according to your requirement, you will be placing these sensors, and you can be using more than one type of sensors in a given circuit. And yes, once again, I must tell you that the selection of the sensors, it will depend on your application. The other kind of devices that we use. Now here, let me tell you once again, we are still at the device level. So at the devices, we are actually talking about what all kind of, these are the devices which are used at the device level of the IoT to make the IoT circuit, or we can say the node that we call. The second kind of IoT device that we have to use is the radio frequency identification, which we normally call as RFID. But RFID, it is not a sensor, but it is a mechanism to capture information pre-embedded into the so-called tag of a thing or an object using radio waves, and it will consist of two parts. One is tag and the other is radar. The tag has again it is again divided into two parts: a microchip that will store and process information, and an antenna to receive and transmit a signal. The tag will contain specific serial number for one or specific object. Then the reader will read the information encoded on a tag using a two-way radio transmitter receiver by emitting a signal, the tag using an antenna. The tag in turn will respond with the information that has been stored in its memory. The reader will then transmit the read results to an RFID computer program. So this is in short how the RFID will be working. The other device that we use are the actuators, which we call as the IoT actuators. An actuator is a type of motor that is responsible for controlling or taking action in a system. It takes a source of data or energy, example, hydraulic fluid pressure, other sources of power, and it will convert the data or energy to motion to control a system. The actuators use sensor collectors and analyze data, and also the different kinds of data and data intelligence, and it will be using this data intelligence to control the IoT system. For example, when a pressure there is a gas flow. So when the pressure is below a threshold level that we have decided, then we can shut down the gas flow. So this is one of the examples where we can be using IoT actuators, like shutting down the gas flow when the measured pressure is below the threshold level. So some of the types of actuators that we generally use are: first one is the electrical actuator. Electrical actuators are devices that are driven by small motors. It will convert energy into mechanical torque. They are used in engines to control different forces. The second type of actuators that is being used commonly are the mechanical linear actuators. Mechanical actuators convert rotary motion to linear motion, and the devices such as screws and chains are utilized in this conversion. Is in the mechanical linear actuators, we'll be using screws and chains. The third type of actuator that we use is the hydraulic actuator. Hydraulic actuators are simple devices with mechanical parts that are used on linear or quarter turn curves. They are designed based on Pascal's law. Then there is an increase in pressure at any point in a confined incompressible fluid. Then there is an equal increase at every point in the container. The other kind of actuators that we use are the pneumatic actuators and the manual actuators. Pneumatic actuators work on the same concept as hydraulic actuators, except compressed gas is used instead of fluid. Then the fifth type, that is the manual actuators, it will employ levers, gears, or wheels to enable movement, while an automatic actuator will have an external power source to provide motion to operate a valve automatically. The power actuators are a necessity on valves in pipelines located in the remote areas. So till now we have learned about the types of devices that we are using, that is the different kinds of sensors, then the RFID and the actuators. Now coming to the next level, that is the networking level. So in some of the IoT requirements for networking protocols, that it will require support for constrained devices, it will require massive scalability, determinism, security and privacy, and application interoperability. So these are some of the requirements of the networking side. Because as we have discussed in the earlier slides, the uh, the basic levels that we are having will be having the devices in the network, and then we have the application level. So now we will be discussing about the networking level, the different kinds of protocols, and the requirements of the networking level. Now firstly, the first one is the support for the constant devices. Support for the constant devices, here I can say that the constant devices we can say which are lacking in something. For example, the IoT devices or the nodes that we are using, they are very small devices with very small battery size, and of course their battery power will be less. They have the memory capabilities which they are having is less. So the device's computational abilities as well as their power resources introduce challenging requirements for IT networking technologies. Because the devices that we are having, they are very small in size, they will having a small battery, they will having a small memory size. So due to this, these devices are sometimes called as a constant devices. So if we want to, but we have to keep on using these devices. So to at the network level, it is very important that none of these devices should fail, because when we are forming an IoT network, when that we are forming a network of IoT devices, then if any one of the node in between it fails, means the whole communication system gets interrupted, and the data will not be passed from the source to the receiver. So it is very necessary that we address these constant devices. So here one thing that we always do is, firstly we have to maintain the battery level of the IoT nodes that we are using, and for this we are using energy efficient or lightweight protocols. And the protocols that we have been using for the internet, we cannot use it directly over the IoT because of this constrained nature of the IoT devices. So when we are using these constrained devices with the help of while using IoT, so we have to consider that there should be lightweight protocols. The protocols should be energy efficient and they should be bandwidth conscious. So this will be required at across all the layers. The second is the massive scalability. Now, based on an estimate conducted by the Cisco, about 99.4% of the physical objects in the world will be connected to the internet. Now, realizing the IoT vision uh, requires that a global IP address be assigned to each one of the billions of the devices that will be connected, because as the popularity of IoT is increasing, the number of IoT users are increasing, and the number of IoT devices are increasing. So it is going to be a very difficult task to add. Scalability is where you can be adding new devices. So addition of new devices, and then ad, giving a unique address to each device. So that is going to be a very difficult task, and you have to deal with it on the IoT network stage. So, and the security credential management example, key distribution, certificate management, etc. It will pose a significant challenge in today's internet. The massive scalability of IoT calls for lightweight, low touch, and highly automated credential management mechanism. So scalability is where you have to actually look after how the new devices can be added and how well they should be able to adapt to the system. Now, the next thing that you will be seeing is the determinism. Determinism, one of the values of it is one of the value proposition we can say in which the technology will allow for better observation and monitoring of the physical world and will also enable the automatic change of that world through closed loop actuation. Determinism does not imply speed. In control functions, both speed and determinism are required. So, the speed is required to attain the highest possible throughput. On the other hand, it is required to specify a level of quality for the throughput that is the highest speed throughout that it is in fact usable by the application. The next and the very important part while using IoT at the network level is the security and privacy. Because when we are using the traditional offline system and application, and when we are connected to the when we connect this office to the internet, because we know that in IoT all the devices and everything that we are talking about, uh, all all will be connected to the internet. So whenever something is connected to the internet, so obviously the security and privacy issues will be generated. And now, as the number of devices are increasing, the security and privacy issues are also increasing. Like for example, if someone, if we talk about like insurance companies or banking sectors, so these sectors they have a lot of personal data. So when a personal data is leaked, so we can understand the security and privacy issues that we have to deal with, because such targets they will cover a multitude of industry segments, and the potential impact of security attacks could lead to significant damage and even loss of life. Yes, significant damage and loss of life. The significant damage we can say like the financial loss of the banking sectors or the insurance applications if they get hacked by something, or similarly loss of life where in the case of healthcare where it gets hacked and the health parameters get altered, so it can even cause loss of life. While the threats in IoT may at the outset seem largely similar to those in more traditional IoT environments, the potential impact of those threats is more profound. That is why threat analysis and respect, risk assessment efforts are key in IoT to measure the impact of a security incident or breach. And yes, when we talk about security and privacy, it is a very important factor because it will actually determine how the people will be adopting IoT. Because if the security and the privacy issues are not addressed for the IoT, then the adaptability will not grow as a faster rate as it is estimated nowadays. Now, the next feature is the application interoperability. Application code often needs to be updated or changed in the scenario where a device is swapped with another that is functionally equivalent albeit manufactured by a different vendor, let alone the scenario where a new device type needs to be integrated into the solution. To reach full API interoperability, the industry must converge on mechanisms for identifying the data that application entitles will share and methods for sharing it. While the availability of standard APIs it is possible to introduce abstractions for common IoT functions, including device, data, and application management. Semantic interoperability guarantees that application entities in the IoT can access, interpret data unambiguously, and semantic interoperability guarantees a common vocabulary that paves the way for accurate and reliable communication between applications and systems. Or, in a very simple sense, simple words, if I try to talk about application interoperability, we know that a number of applications are being developed every day. Some are related to health, some may be related to home automation, some may be related to agriculture, some may be related to environmental monitoring. And everywhere, for each application that you are developing, we are using different kinds of circuits. Like you may be using an Arduino, you may be connecting it to the cloud, you may be connecting it to the Wi-Fi, you may be connecting it to the Bluetooth. So a number of technologies are being used, and this application when we are developing, and these applications should be developed in such a way that the device that you are using, like whether you are using a phone to access it or whether you are using a laptop to access it. So these applications should be compatible with the devices that you are using. So that is actually application interoperability. Then the next thing, the IoT protocols stack. Basically. Yes. IoT protocol stack. So this is a layered view, and you can see that the IoT protocol stack, it can be visualized as an extension of the TCP/IP layer protocol model, and it consists of the following layers: the physical layer, link layer, network layer, transport layer, application protocols layer, and the application services layer. So the first one that we can be seen over here is the link layer. The challenges that the IoT presents on the link layer is of the protocols. That, sorry, the challenge that the IoT presents to the link layer of the protocol stack. It can be categorized into four areas, as we can see in the diagram: the device characteristics, the traffic characteristics, scalability, and the access characteristics. So the link layer that we are talking about, it has a significant impact due to the fact that this layer is responsible for the nonsense of the physical transmission technology, framing, media access control, and the retransmissions. So for the traffic characteristics, we can be determining. We'll be using the time sensitive networks will determine whether it is a random or the short and tight latency. This all will be used. And for the accessing, we'll be using some wireless or the wired services, the mobile or the stationary services, and whether it is a long range or the short range services. And like the device characteristics, we have all will be requiring the low power network, because we know that most of the times we are having constrained devices, and sometimes we can be also having the non-constrained devices. So here we can see these are the characteristics that have been told that are available at the four areas at the link layer. Now, some of the link layer challenges that are being faced are: on the device characteristics front, the IoT will compass a wide spectrum of things that spans from fully capable that non-constrained compute nodes to highly constrained nodes. And the traffic characteristics of IoT endpoints vary widely depending on the application's demand and nature of devices. The access characteristics of IoT endpoints become increasingly diverse as the footprint of the network grows beyond traditional IoT environments dominated by familiar local area network and wide area network technology. IoT scalability demands present interesting challenges for the link layer. On the one hand, these technologies offer a number of appealing characteristics that make them a good fit for the IoT. On the other hand, these technologies are susceptible to scalability issues. Then the industry progress, how the industry has been working. So it has come to some of the protocols, that is the IEEE 802.15.4. Then the second one is the IEEE 802.15.4e TSCH. Then the low power band and IEEE 802.10ah. So here in the table, we can be just seeing a comparison of these protocols. Like the IEEE 802.15.4, it has a range about up to 1 kilometer. Its data range will be 1 Mbps to 10 kbps, and it uses the mesh topology. It can be used in the personal area network or the home network, and its power consumption is very low. Whereas the low power WAN, LoRa WAN that we call, it has a range of 20 kilometers. It has a data rate of 50 kbps. It uses star topology. It can be used for WANs, that is the wide area network, and its power consumption is low. Whereas the IEEE 802.11ah, it has a medium power consumption. It has a range of 1 kilometer. The data rate is more than 100 kbps. It uses a star technology, and it can be used for the metropolitan block. So this is some of the the basic properties of this protocol that we use. So we can be selecting this protocol according to the application that we have to build up. After the network layer, let's come to the next layer, that is the internet layer. So, and yes, of course, we know that we have to use the internet because we are studying about Internet of Things, where everything is going to be connected to the internet. Now, the nodes in the low networks that we'll be using, they will be low power and lossy networks, that is the LLN that we call. It will operate with a hard and very small bound-on state. These LLNs are optimized for saving energy. Then, the traffic patterns within LLNs will include point-to-point or point-to-multipoint and multipoint-to-point flows. This low power and tossing networks will typically be employed over link layer technologies characterized with restrict frame sizes. These routing protocols for the low power networks should be adapted specifically for those link layers. Then, the links within this low power lossy networks may be inherently unreliable with time period varying loss characteristics. The protocols need to offer high reliability under those characteristics. So here we can see the five characteristics of the internet layer and that we have already given. That is, operate with hard and very small bounded state, optimize receiving energy, support B2B and P2MP and MP2B traffic patterns, operate over link layers with restricted frame size, and operate over the unreliable lossy links. Then, the industry progress that has been happened in the internet layer that will be seen on this slide. Yes, these are again some of the protocols that have been developed. The first one is this 6 low power PAN. It is an adaptation layer for running IPv6 over 802.1.15.4 networks. Then the RPL, that is IPv6, that is the routing protocol for low power and lossy networks. So it is a distance vector routing protocol. The reason for choosing a distance vector protocol as opposed to the link state paradigm is primarily to address the requirement of minimizing the amount of control plane state memory that needs to be maintained on the constrained nodes of low power and fuzzy networks. Then sixth is IEEE 802.14 TSCH defines the medium access control functions of a low power wireless networks with time scheduling and channel hopping. And after this, let's move to the next level, that is the application protocol layer. Application protocols are responsible for handling the communication between application entities, that is, things, gateways, and applications. They typically support the flow of data, example, readings or measurements from things to applications, and the flow of commands or control information, example, trigger or actuate end devices in the reverse direction. These protocols will define the semantics and the mechanisms for message exchanges between the communicating endpoints. Then, the application layer protocols. The application layer protocols will actually vary uh, in the data serialization formats that are used to encode information into messages, mapping between the formats used in constant devices and those used by applications in the World Wide Web, impact they have on device resource utilization, especially in the terms of energy consumption, then the impact they have on network bandwidth utilization. The application protocols will support different communication patterns. It should be able to provide mechanisms for fine-grained control over the real-time behavior, dependability, and performance of IoT applications by means of a risk set of the QoS policies, that is the quality of services policy. And some application protocols adhere to set of constants defined by the representation state transfer, that is the RISC architectural paradigm. And uh, some of the application layer protocols, IoT application protocols that are being used are, the first one is the COAP, that is the Constraint Application Protocol. It was standardized by the IETF Constraint Industrial Environments, that is the core group work group as a lightweight alternative to HTTP targeted for constant nodes in low power and lossy networks. The second one, it is the Extensible Messaging and Presence Protocol, that is XMPP. It was originally designed for instant messaging, contact list, and presence information maintenance. It is a message sending protocol based on the extensible markup language, that is XML. The third one is the MQTT, that is the Message Queue Telemetry Transport. This protocol is a lightweight, publish or subscribe messaging protocol that was originally designed by IBM for enterprise telemetry. MQTT follows a client-server architecture where the clients connect to a central server called the broker. The fourth type of application protocol that we use is the AMQP, that is Advanced Message Queuing Protocol. It originates from financial sector applications but is generic enough to accommodate other types of applications. It is a binary message oriented protocol. The fifth type of application protocol is called as the SIP, that is the Session Initiation Protocol. It handles session establishment for voice, video, and instant messaging applications on IP networks. It also manages presence, which is similar to the XMPP that we saw earlier. Then IEEE 1888 is an application protocol for environmental monitoring, smart energy, and facility management applications. It is a simple protocol that supports reading and writing of time series data using the extensible markup language and simple object access protocol. The seventh one is the distributed data service real time publish and subscribe. It is a data centric protocol that has, as its name that indicates, it will support the publish or subscribe paradigm and DDS. It will organize data into topics that listeners can subscribe to and receive asynchronous updates when the associated data changes. Coming to the next, that is the application service layer. The application service layer will provide seamless interoperability between applications and devices, and it will promote nimble development of IoT solutions. The communication service providers know well the value of IoT is in the data and not the way it is transported. Yes, of course. IoT, it mainly deals with the data. So we have to be very careful about how it is being transferred or how it's being processed. And to unlock this value, the application service layer aims to turn the network to a common platform to enable diverse IoT applications. This common platform will be built across an ecosystem of heterogeneous devices and will enable CSPs to monetize IoT data access, storage, management, and security. Now, let's have a look at how the industry progress is going on at the application layer. So, in the industry progress side, if you see that the first one is the ETSI M2M. The network architecture adopted by the ETSI M2M effort draws heavily on existing technologies. The architecture consists of three domains: M2M is machine to machine and device domain, the network domain, and the application domain. The M2M device domain provides connectivity between things and gateways. Example, a field area network or a personal area network. Then the next one is the the next one that we have is the one M to M. The one M to M standards consider any IoT deployment to be comprised of two domains: the field domain and the infrastructure. As on the slides you can be seeing over here, they have mentioned the field domain and the infrastructure domain. The field domain will consist of the things, that is the sensors, actuators, etc., and the gateways, and the infrastructure domain will consist of the communication network as well as the data centers. And these are some of the technology gaps that we observe while working at the different levels. So there will be actually two types they will try to address. Uh, the first one is actually in terms of discovery capabilities, and the second one that we have with respect to data encoding and interpretation. So the first technology gap that we observe, it is in terms of search and discovery capabilities of the IoT application service layer. So it should provide support for mechanisms by which devices as well as applications can automatically discover each other as well as discover middleware common services modes. Then, the mechanism by which applications can search for devices with specific attributes, example sensors of a particular type or context, context is within a specific distance from a location. So here we are talking about two things. We are talking about sensors and we are talking about the context, that is the location, specific distance from the location. And the mechanism by which application can search for data. So here we have to also search for data based on the attributes, example semantic annotations, or context, that is spatial or temporal. And the second one, it is with regard to data encoding, interpretation, and modeling the application services layer. So the application services layer should consist of mechanisms that render IoT data understandable to applications without the prior knowledge of the data or the devices that produced it. And secondly, it should have the mechanism that will enable application interaction at a high level of abstraction by means of physical virtual entity modeling. Then the mechanism that enable data management services to hold the semantic description of IoT data that is being handled. And the framework for defining formal formal domain-specific semantic models or ontologies, including but not limited to defining an upper-level ontology for IoT. Now, let's have a look at the IoT communication protocol. Because as I told, that IoT is mainly consists of the data where data is being transferred from one place to the other. More than that, specifically, we can see where the data is being transferred from one node to the other, or from the source node to the destination node. And when this data is being transferred from the source to the destination, or from the transmitter side to the receiver side, we have to use different types of communication protocols. And this communication protocols, we will be deciding according to the distance. Firstly, according to the distance, and secondly, according to the mm, requirements that we have. Because IoT, when we are using, this is a kind of technology which we can be using it from any part of the world. So, whether your application, it is some application that just require communication between two devices placed very close to each other, between a range of some 4 kilometers, 10 kilometers, or even more than that. So we will selecting the technology according to the distance of our applications and our devices that we are using. The first one that we commonly know is the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth will connect the devices to smaller distance and change the device interaction. It has some empowering features that support IoT devices, and also the Bluetooth low energy. It is again sometimes classified as different one, but BLE, it will support devices that require less power and ideal for IoT enabled projects. Then the second one is the Zigbee. Now, the IoT devices, when we are working, they do not require extra functionality. And therefore, Zigbee is an ideal protocol for transferring data from one communication point to another. And the advantage of using Zigbee is it will make the data flow easy, and it is used to send small amounts of data using very less power, which is why it is used in machine to machine communication and IoT. The next kind of technology that we use, which is again we know about it, that is the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a form of local area network for wireless communication, and it is a better option for data transfer as it easily fits into a variety of standards. It plays an important role in IoT communication and intercommunication uh, with other cellular networks such as Bluetooth. Wi-Fi supports high ping and high bandwidth and low latency. The fourth kind of communication technology that is commonly used with IoT is the Z-based. It is a low-cost technology that eliminates the issues caused by Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The network of Z-Wave will include the Internet of Things, devices, and control called the primary hub. When the Z-Hub receives a message through a smartphone or tablet, it sends this message to the relevant smart home appliance. And some more communication protocols that we use is RFID, that is a radio frequency identification. RFID is a fast dependent and does not require physical interaction between the user and the tag. It identifies the IoT objects by tagging and labeling them. The tag or label replaces the object. RFID is useful to identify, track, and monitor remote IoT objects with time and location. The sixth type of communication technology that we can be using with IoT is cellular networks. Cellular IoT makes it possible to construct less power consuming devices that connect to the internet, which was not possible before. We can easily send small packets of data through a cellular network, and we know that the latest cellular technology that we are using is 5G, and of course, 5G is also compatible with IoT, and that is taking over IoT devices with rapid speed. The next that we use are the Sigfox and the NFC. Sigfox is the first to introduce LP-WAN, low power WAN technologies in the development of IoT products. It uses a low power wide area network to intercommunicate between IoT devices to the internet, and it supports long distance communication for sending and receiving small messages. The eighth one is the NFC, and NFC stands for Near Field Communication. NFC, it is a wireless technology for short distance communication, and the NFC enabled services must be in close because it is a short distance, so the devices it should be close to each other. So I have written it must be in close proximity to each other so that they can communicate through the radio waves. The next time, two more technologies I think they are left. That is low power WAN. Uh, that is a low power wide area network. WAN stands for wide area network, right? So LPWAN, it offers wireless communication between devices that consume less amounts of power. It will connect these devices to the internet to send and receive messages from devices with the same network. And some they like we have seen the Sigfox LoRa, they are some of the examples of low power WAN. Then the LoRa WAN, that is the low range wide area network. It is a wide area network protocol. It was constructed to connect objects to the internet and to act as a mode of communication between the objects. These objects could be home automation appliances, smart cars, thermostats, and so on. So now let's come to the final level, that is the application level. And of course, as because IoT it is such a versatile technology, it is in use, and due to its versatility, the applications are increasing. And yes, I have tried to cover some of the applications, and we will be listening to some 5 to 6 applications in short because it is, I know it is not so easy to explain all the applications in such a short time. So obviously, let's start with the first one, that is a smart home. Now it is one of the popular applications of IoT that is being used, that is a smart home. Sometimes we call it as a home automation system using IoT. So the IoT home automation it refers to the capacity to use interconnected equipment to operate household appliances. So I can just tell in a very simple sense that just imagine that you have a mobile in your hand and you are in any part of the world and you are sitting in your office, and from the office you are able to water the plants in your garden. You are able to switch on or switch if you have left some lights at your home. You forgot to switch off the lights before leaving the home, so you can easily switch off the lights using your mobile in the office. So these are some of the the things that you can be doing using the smart home, where you are actually controlling all the home appliances through a single app that is being installed on your mobile. And or we can say that is a smartphone app. So you can be controlling lighting, you can be controlling your home appliances, and besides that you can be also controlling the temperature and humidity at your home. You can be controlling the gas leakage, you can be controlling the heating and cooling of your home. You can be having automated windows, you can be having security cameras, so that if when you are not at home and someone just if you comes in front of your door, so the picture will get captured. Or sometimes if when you're not at home and someone comes near the door or near the main entrance or any of the windows, you will be getting some notification. So smart home automation, there your whole home and all the appliances inside that it can be controlled by you using a smartphone app, and you can be controlling it from anywhere. The other one is a smart agriculture, and we know that without agriculture, nothing is possible, because whatever food that we're having is that all comes as a result of the agriculture produce. So nowadays, when the agriculture is being automated, so smart farming is using modernized methods and IoT-based technologies to manipulate and manage the agricultural fields. It will it. includes the use of geolocation, GPS tracking sensors, and drones to monitor the fields, crops, and cattle. And some of the sensors that we're using, that are the sensors that we measure the water level, the temperature, and the humidity of the soil. And it also, the smart agriculture, it also uses sensors to diagnose the plant diseases, the animals that are being used in agriculture purposes, so detect the disease of these animals also to learn and treat the diseases. Then connectivity using LoRa and cellular networks. Then managing and tracking location using GPS and satellites. Managing the greenhouses, it also comes under the smart agriculture. And then using the agricultural drones. So these are some of the things where we call that we can be using IoT for agriculture, and sometimes we call it as the smart agriculture, or we can be also calling it as a precision agriculture. Now, coming to the next one, that is the healthcare. Now, it is a very widely used application. We also know that from the concept where the telemedicine is being used, because there we don't need to go to the doctor every time. The gadgets that we are having, it can be some kind of wearables, we can say, some kind of device that is implanted or that is being worn by a person, and it will keep on monitoring the health parameters. It can be like monitoring your blood pressure, it can be monitoring your sugar levels, oxygen levels, and sometimes even it can be used for mood monitoring. So it depends, and sometimes it can be used for also monitoring the elderly persons if they are at home, they are on the wheelchair. You can be also monitoring. So the basic the IoT healthcare system, how it works is it is some kind of sensor-based devices that are implanted on your body part, we can say, or sometimes in the CPR, someone is using a wheelchair, so on the wheelchair, and these are being connected to an application, and then some kind of mishappening is there. Now, for example, just consider an example like if my blood pressure is being monitored. So we know that there is a particular threshold level for the blood pressure. So when that blood pressure it goes very low or it goes very high, so it is going to be dangerous for anyone. So in that cases, what will happen is a notification will be sent to the doctor, a notification will be sent to some of my relative or caretaker, and those people realize that okay, there is something wrong with me, and the doctors can take an action to correct it. It is not just blood pressure, but even like if we have elderly people at home and they are on the wheelchair and there is no one to look after them. So in any case, these also use the fall detection sensors and all. So if that person fell down or if there is some other kind of health problem that the person is facing, in all these cases, a notification will be sent to the doctors and the notification will be sent to the caretaker, and we can easily work upon it. So, a fourth kind of application that I would like to talk about is waste management. We know that nowadays more and more people are moving towards cities. They're leaving their smaller places, they're leaving their villages, and they are moving towards cities for better job opportunities and for better education opportunities. And as the population is increasing, the managing of waste, because the people are increasing, the waste that is being generated, it is increasing. So obviously, it is becoming difficult to manage the waste. So some of the benefits of using IoT for waste management is the reduction in collection costs. Now, why it is happening? Let me just tell a basic system where we use IoT in waste management. We can just assume that we have a dustbin in our home and it will be having an ultrasonic sensor, some fire sensor. The ultrasonic sensor will be able to tell the level of garbage in that bins. And this IoT node is actually connected to an application which is being managed by the waste management authorities. So when this trash bins or when the dust bins that we call, they get filled up, then the waste management authorities will receive a notification that the dustbin in this area is full. And only when it becomes full, the garbage collectors well, they are collecting it manually, or they are sending some garbage vehicles, garbage collecting vehicles. So those persons will come to our home, or they or the street wherever the bins are being located. So and they will collect the garbage. Otherwise, what is happening is some of the times the garbage collectors they have to go on through the whole area, even though there is no waste to be collected. So when the trucks are going, the garbage collecting trucks are going to the areas and they have no waste to be collected. So in that way, what will happen is that lots of fuel, time, and energy is being wasted. And when the vehicles are being used, obviously there are a lot of you can say CO2 emissions are going on. So the waste management, when we are using IoT enabled waste management, so there will be no fixed missed pickups, because the garbage collector will go to the place only there, or from there he has got the notification. And this we can be also using the short part algorithm, so that we can be reaching the place in the shortest time as possible. We can also prevent the amount of waste that is being generated in an area, and it will avoid uh, the overflows, because sometimes we know that because the garbage collectors don't come on time, the dustbins will start overflowing. So all these kinds of hazards can be avoided if we start using IoT for the waste management. Then some more applications that we use. This one is IoT for weather monitoring. So IoT can predict natural calamities long before their occurrence in order to prepare the government and the city before the event. Long-distance communication protocol transfer data over a long range. So the weather sensors on the ground will sense the changes in the temperature, and it will alert the authorities. The sensors and drones will monitor the changes in the environment, and it will record the data. Then it can be also used for environmental monitoring. Environmental monitoring means it will be used to manage the changes in the environment over a period of time and help in reflecting upon those changes. For example, it will help in monitoring the air pollution, so that it will ensure that the pollution levels are within like it does not increase more, and it will keep on checking the pollution levels so that everything runs on smoothly. Besides that, it can be also used for monitoring the air, water, and forest. The IoT will deploy temperature and proximity sensors to check the quality of water and air. The sensors and actuators in forests will notify the forest authorities in case of a forest fire. This will help the officials to take necessary steps before the onset of manageable incidents. The sensors will record and collect data about endangered and rare species. The scientists use this information to study further about new plants and animals. It can be also used for the fisheries monitoring system, in which the IoT develops aquaculture systems to monitor the health and status of fishes in various water bodies. This leads to sustainable and resilient fisheries that ensure profit and in turn help ecosystems. The IoT can also be applied for manufacturing industries. IoT recognizes manufacturing delays and helps to identify the underlying causes. Production units benefit majorly with the automation of various processes in the manufacturing industry. This allows the maximum utilization of raw materials and manufacturing components. IoT leads to better allocation of resources. It allows users to shift their focus on clients and profits rather than worrying about tedious and time-consuming tasks. At the industry level, it also helps in smart packaging, quality control, predictive maintenance, and dynamic response to market demands. Predictive maintenance, we can say it is very important because we can keep on monitoring the machines so that if any kind of damage is being caused, so if we try to protect it, so we can try to check it before any kind of mishappening occurs or any kind of outward incident occurs in the industry. The other one is the smart transportation. Nowadays, I think we can, everyone is aware where we are using the Google Maps. So we are able to know the location, even if we haven't traveled at least once to that place. But with the help of the Google Maps, you can easily reach to the location you have set on your phone. Besides that, when we are using IoT for the smart transportation, we can know about the traffic congestion on the road. So if you are trying to follow a path where there is traffic congestion, so you can use this smart transportation method to get another path, another alternative path, so that you can be reaching your destination. And also, like when you are traveling on a road, so the kind of basic amenities you might be needing, like you might sometimes need a restaurant, you might be needing some fuel stations. So all these requirements that you need while traveling, so these are all being done by the smart transportation system, and here we are using it. Like for example, if you need a restaurant, you need a fuel station, so every time you will be getting notifications on your smartphones or whatever. And similarly about the speeds also, somewhere in cars you must have speed nowadays, that we also have notifications for controlling the speed. When your speed goes beyond a particular limit, so you start getting notifications that your speed has been exceeded. So this is some of the examples of smart transportation. Then the smart energy meters. We know very well that the electrical consumption that we are using, the power consumption that we are using, it is sometimes more. And the people living in the urban areas, we have been using a lot of power. We have been using so much of the electronic and electrical appliances, but there are areas where they don't get access to the electricity. So in that case, the only solution is that we should be able to control our power consumption, the power consumption of our home, the power consumption of our offices. So one more application of IoT that is being used in this regard is the smart energy meter. So the smart energy meter, it will allow the usage of energy more effectively, because it will keep on sending notification of our power usage. Otherwise, normally the energy meters that we are using at our homes, we only look at it when we have to pay the energy bills. Otherwise, we don't know how much of the power is consumed. Only at the end of the month we know, okay, this much of units have been consumed after the home. So this smart energy meters, it will be keeping on sending the notifications of the power usage. And if we even set the levels that this should be like some 20 units of power should be used in a single day, so it will send the notifications to us, so we can regulate our power consumption. One more very important usage of IoT, or the application of IoT, is the disaster prevention. The disaster prevention, as already we talked, it helps in the cases of natural calamities also. And here, when we are living in our homes, we can be using it. In the industries, we can be using it. When we are living in the colonies, so there the eruptions of fires and all, so this can be, controlled, which is called as the disaster prevention technique. In which, like for example, if a fire is being erupted in a home, so it will keep on, like whether it is, for example, if it is a factory where it is using some kind of fire, where some kind of inflammable substances are being used in that factory, and there are chances of erupting of fires. So in that case, the temperature sensors that we are having, there might be industries where there are chances of gas leakage and all. So in all such cases, the sensors will be used to monitor these factors, and because of that, when we are able to detect the gas leakage, or we are able to detect the sudden rise in temperature and all that. So we can prevent the fires. We can just, like even if fire is being caught, because as soon as the temperature increases, we get a notification. So before the fire spreads, we can be taking steps to avoid it. So this is how IoT can be helpful in disaster prevention. And yes, all these applications that we have been talking about, like water management, waste management, smart lighting, I must say, so these are all the applications when combined together, they become the smart cities. So, smart lighting system here, I would like to tell that, for example, the street lights are there. And the street lights, normally what we do is there will be a time to switch on and switch off. And most of the times, those lights, even when no one is going through that street, still the lights will be on. So the smart lighting system, it is a concept when it sends that someone is coming, some vehicle is coming, or some person is coming, it will automatically switch on. And then they leave that place, and there is no one at this place, it will switch off. And it can the water management. This is again, the smart lighting system, it can be used in the bathrooms, washrooms also, especially at the public places, because when as soon as a person enters, the fan and the light will get switched on, and when the person leaves, it will get switched off. So this and the smart parking, because if we in the cities we see that it is very difficult to find the parking places. So when we are having the smart parking system, it will notify where the parking slot is empty, whether it is not, or we need to move to some other places to find the parking. So these are some of the applications of IoT. When we combine it together, it can be used for building of the smart cities. So smart cities is nothing but it is cities which will be using all these applications of IoT to make our life easier. And yes, now just before ending the session, let me just talk in short about the advantages we have been discussing. It is more than 1 hour. We have been discussing about IoT, and let me just bring some advantages and disadvantages of IoT. Yes, of course, the very first and the profound advantage of IoT is that it allows remote monitoring of devices and personal assets. It will allow the users to access real-time information about their devices from any part of the world. That is what we say, anywhere, anytime, any place. So it allows the working of interconnected devices without human intervention. It will reduce the dependency in manual labor. It will reduce the time factor. Then these devices will have tighter secret protocols that alert the user instantly in case of any destructive attempt to physical devices. It helps us to better understand the functionality of devices that allows us to make better uses of the available resources. Then, besides technical devices can easily connect to a smart system such as a computer or a smartphone, it will reduce the usage of large technical equipment. It will create a highly reliable and factual data collection with the help of access to real-time information about the surroundings. And it mainly helps uh, make the people's lives easier by offering solutions to compact problems. Then coming to the disadvantages of IoT, of course, any technology that we take, then it is having advantage. So they'll be having some disadvantages also. So those all those are learning about IoT, and if you want to work in the field of IoT, so you have known the advantages. So I think you should be paying a close look at the disadvantages also. And if you want to take it as some kind of research project in the future, you should be trying to this reduce the levels of disadvantages or try to overcome disadvantage of IoT. Okay, so the first disadvantages, because the user data is available on the internet and hackers can hack this private and sensitive information, as I've also told earlier that in suppose for healthcare, if we see, so healthcare, it is a very personal data. So if anyone can be using this data, sometimes we provide the health data, the personal data to the insurance agencies. Also, they can be using it. The banking sector can be using it. So anyone can hack the system, and it can be using the private and sensitive information. Or sometimes it is not under our control who is trying to hack the system. Okay. So the Internet of Things depends on the internet connectivity. Yes, this is sometimes a drawback because the IoT applications, they cannot work without the internet. So this is a disadvantage. And then it is complicated due to the large amount of code and the machine communication between various devices. If one machine fails to work, the entire network suffers the loss. Yes, of course, like there are a number of nodes. When we call an IoT network or an IoT part, there are a number of nodes in between the source and the destination node. And if any one node is failed, so there is no communication. So you can understand that. And the fourth one is there is little to no privacy between devices on the network. Is of course because everything is available on the internet. Then sometimes people fear that the usage of IoT can increase unemployment of factory labels and lesser wages to more skilled labels. And any bug in one of the devices leads to corruption of the entire system. This entire system can be trashed. And there is no set international IoT standards to match compatibility. This leads to problem in communication between manufacturers and domains. And IoT makes life easier. It also leads to severe health issues since there is less physical movement, and this may also cause an increase in stress levels in the human body in one way or the other. So with this, we come to the end of my presentation on Internet of Things, that is IoT. Those are some of the references which I have used to make the presentation. So thank you everyone. Thank you for listening, and thank you Institute of Global Professionals for this wonderful opportunity to share my knowledge on IoT. So thank you one and all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seekers can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much, dear sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, now, ma'am, it's time for our question and session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinars. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we will be back in our session part two, which is the question and answer part. Okay, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, ma'am. You said something about question answers. Are you
What?
able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you just repeat?
Okay. Um, Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seekers can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much, dear ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for our question and answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinars. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll be back in our session part 2, which is the question and answer part.
Okay, okay,
Okay, ma'am?
sure. Okay.
Again, welcome back, ma'am. Now we'll start our question and answer session. Uh, Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question and answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your questions in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question and answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, we are waiting for questions. Please ask your question. Yeah. Um, our first question is, Bless Sandaman, how does Internet of Things affect our daily life?
Yeah, IoT, it affects our daily life, of course. It makes our life easier, we can say. Like if we talk about just one of the application, an application which I have worked earlier, especially in my PhD, that was the healthcare application. So in that healthcare application, I introduced one more thing, that was the security of the networks that we were having. So if we can see the healthcare application, I would just like to explain that because yes, most of the applications work in a similar way in IoT. If we talk about healthcare, now every time we need to go to a doctor, if we have some kind of health issue, we need to go to a doctor. But if you're using the IoT healthcare application, we do not need to visit the doctor every time. Then then we are persons who can like walk and do all of the things on our own. It's okay, but it is difficult to carry the persons who are not able to walk having some kind of disabilities. So in that case, IoT healthcare will be a boon for them, because the doctor can monitor the patient from his own place, and he will be receiving the regular updates of the health of the patient with the help of the IoT devices that the person is wearing. So in that case, we can say yes, this is just an example where IoT makes our life easier. Any kind of applications you see, it makes our life easier.
Thank you, ma'am. Our second question is from Isaiah Kyungui. Does application does the application of tool affect unemployment of manual laborers or skilled staff?
We cannot say, but sometimes it is considered a disadvantage only because as we go for more of automation, so less number of people are required to do the same task. So there sometimes people consider it as a disadvantage, but I don't consider as a disadvantage. This is my personal view, I can say, because as the automation is increasing, the requirements of experts is also increasing in this field. And if we have a close look at the number of people that are required to work with IoT, they also are required to work with AI. The number of people the experts that are required is really less. So we cannot say it is a direct impact, but sometimes we can say because the task is being done by a smaller number of people. So sometimes people think it can affect employment, but I don't think it is going to affect that much. Yes, next, any
Thank you,
question?
ma'am. Our third question is from Evelyn Puri. Um, This question is her question is what is the main challenges of lot to the environment?
Your challenges to the environment, I don't think directly any kind of challenges that we can be having. Yes, somewhere I think because IoT, the nodes that we are having, everywhere we are using the battery, and everywhere again, the lot of transmissions that are being done. Somewhere it can affect them. Well, IoT is controlling the environment. We can say it is good for environment monitoring. It is good for avoiding the disasters. It is helpful, but yes, if the number of IoT nodes goes on increasing, so somewhere the e-waste that will be collected, somewhere it can affect the environment. I hope I answered the question.
Ma'am, I think we have covered all of our questions. Uh,
Okay, thank you.
Once again, thank you so much, Honorable Ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable Ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Honorable Ma'am, before we move to the next webinar certification process, if you want to leave this studio, you can, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we will have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Certificate instructions. Step 1. Visit www.edoigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find your running session and get enrolled. After watching or completing part 1 video session, click Mark as complete. Move to the next, which is the learning test quiz passing mark 80%. If passed, back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, to retake the quiz. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I'm going to share the procedure again. Certificate instruction. Visit www.edoigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Sign up or sign in. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching or completing part 1 video session, click Mark as complete. Move to the next, which is the learning test with passing mark 80%. Step 5. If passed, back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, to retake the course. Step 6. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. We change a few process for online live quiz competition. Note that after live, no one can participate Um, Now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now time for the quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Visit www.eduigp.com and sign up or sign in. Without this, you can't join in live quiz competition anymore. Browse the live quizzes button or given field. Find the session name and join with your logged website or user account. Click join and wait for a few minutes for others to join. Enjoy an online live quiz competition. After the quiz, we will issue certificate for the top 10 as previously, which you can find on our website and official Facebook page. After a short video, we start our quiz competition. Now time for the online quiz competition to join the. Once again, welcome back. Now time for the online quiz competition to join the online quiz competition properly. Please follow my instruction carefully. Now time for the online quiz competition to join the online quiz competition properly. Please follow my instructions carefully. Visit www.eduigp.com and sign up to sign in. Without this, you can't join live quiz competition anymore. Browse the live quizzes button or give and click. Find the session name and with your logged website or user account. Click join and wait for a few minutes for others to join. Enjoy an online live quiz competition. After the quiz, we will issue certificates for top 10 as previously, which you can find on our website and Facebook page. Um, Already 20 people join with us. Now we can start our quiz competition with 29 people. 21 people start quiz. Okay, after 2 minutes later, we will start our quiz competition. In the meantime, you have everyone join this in our question session. Who will pick your name from quiz? So join with your full name, which will be directly printed on quiz certificates. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, we are now start our quiz competitions. Our first question is Internet of Things. First option is for the creation of intelligent computer programs and machines technology. Second is it is the concept of data transmission network between devices. Our correct answer is it is the concept of data transmission network between devices. Our first leaderboard is Carmila V. Jain. Next question. Internet of Things IoT means. Control device is classified as offline over the internet, one-click shopping on the internet for things. Correct answer is A. Control device is classified as offline over the internet. Our first leaderboard is Leah Fasnala. Next question. Internet of Things IoT technologies. IA are only useful for digital twin. B represent an important component for cyber physical system. Our correct answer is B represent an important component of cyber physical systems. Um, First leaderboard is Leo Fasnala. Next question. Internet of Things IoT implies first the connection between a small device to the connection between objects by being connected to the internet. Correct answer is B. The connection between objects by being connected to the network. First leaderboard is Leo Fasunella. Next question. Internet of Things IoT is a virus that can be spread through internet. B. Anything that is connected to internet. Right answer is anything that is connected to internet. On the leaderboard, the first person is Leo Fasunella. Next question. Internet of Things IoT is A. Non-connected stuff which is used every day. B. Internet working of physical devices. Correct answer is B. Internet working of physical devices. On the leaderboard, the first person is Leo Fasunella. Next question. The Internet of Things IoT is A. Dangerous malware. B. A network of internet connected devices that can collect and send data. Correct answer is B. A network of internet connected devices that can collect and send data. On the leaderboard, the first person is Leo Fasunella. What is Internet of Things IoT? A. Being able to find anything on the internet. Digital products connected together using the internet. Correct answer is B. Digital products connected together using the internet. On the leaderboard, first person is Leo Fasunella. Next question. What is Internet of IoT? Network of physical devices embedded with sensor and software connectivity. Model of human intelligence in machines programmed to think like humans. Correct answer is A. Network of physical devices embedded with sensor and software connectivity. On the leaderboard, first person is Leo Fasunella. Next question. Examples of Internet of Things IoT. Thermostats and security cameras, twisters. Correct answer is A. Thermostat and security cameras. On the leaderboard, first person is Leo Fasunella. Our final finish finish our quiz. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes to finalize the results and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official Facebook page. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes to finalize the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official Facebook page. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes to finalize the result, and after that we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our website and official Facebook page. At the end of our session, we can say properly feed your skill, never stop learning because life never stops teaching us. Be happy, stay safe, and see you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end live button, again wants to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation. As always, see you in the next session. Thank you.